Game one of our final set of quarterfinals Friday kicks off with Jade Dragons and Hex Mambo squaring off. We saw in the picks and bans some respect thrown towards Deathwalker, not going to get his tier. Obviously, after the plays that we witnessed last week, surely no surprise that he won't be getting a god like that again. But Jade Dragons going very traditional with their style, run it down early style of god. And I'm curious how fast the Jade Dragons are going to make the pacing of this game. Because Hex Mambo, the EU SCC representative, is the only representative of the SCC remaining coming into week number 2. They are a late game farming team. I mean, when we were talking about this team in a lot of the EU region at Masters 1, this was the solo laners don't leave lane until level 20. They're not even, like, they don't want to even touch the outside of, like, the skirts of their jungle. Pagon will get his meditation there to keep himself alive against that pressure. Yeah, I think keeping sights on solo, at least for these kind of mid games, is definitely the right idea. Final K and a lot of other solo laners in the SPL have been getting much more active as of recent, rotating as early as level 8, level 9 towards these mid laners to try and get some pressure there.
It's PBM over here looking for a possible gank towards Deathwalker. Not the member of the Jade Dragons I expected to get aggressive on this side of the map, but I'll allow it.
He's just vibing. He's just hanging out in the jungle. When she was doing the dance emote,
he is surrounded and he doesn't know.
No, he is in the middle of like this trifecta of like just like death. And finally he'll spot out his one target, Johnny. Won't find the second stun. We'll get the first. Now at least push the Nemesis away. And even gets the ultimate of E-Chrome. Now I'm wondering if that ult by E-Chrome.
It was a teleport.
Okay. Well, okay, so was the get back to lane? I was like,
yeah, it was just the old get back to lane for free card. You fly in, Panda Cat goes, you stopped my back, man. And
people. Pagon versus Zeros on the snacking. It'll be that Warlocks and Scream now under fire. The first fight. And it's Hex Mambo who are going to be the one pulling the trigger and finding first blood. Johnny on the Nemesis grabs one and making a double kill. Well, this time one for Zeros at the very least. As Hex Mambo are the ones who strike out first. But not going to make any kind of aggressive move just yet. So Mike and Scream, the first two to go down for the Jade Dragons, and that does give a pretty nice lead over to Rotwin as far as experience. 8 versus 6 to make sure that Rotwin can stay ahead of his opposition. Scream at least keeping even with Johnny despite that first blood going over to the Hex Mambo jungle.
Zeros hits level 10 before Pagon, so sapping the extra farm, not really coming back to bite. Unless, of course, it's E-Chrome, because we have seen Rotwin over in duo lane as well. I'm just expecting to see these items get a little bit online beforehand. Scream's just been trying to farm and is a little bit behind at the moment. Our only level 9 is Panda Cat actually looking at PBM going in.
Rotwin down to half, but that meditation keeping him alive. Home sweet home. Not really doing a whole lot of damage this early on. The downside of that ult on the Baba Yaga, gotta land every single shot plus some more to really stack up that damage. But it's at least a good disengage tool for Hex Mambo item, especially with wanting to play as aggressive as they are early. Hex Mambo with an early Pyromancer pull. PBM is there, has ultimate, will use it early. Won't get the kill, won't get the objective. That's just going to be the ultimate down. Hex Mambo grab the Pyro.
Still a fair bit of burst on the side of Mambo going for those objectives. Deathwalker forces the dazzling offensive early, actually trying to find out Scream. Not going to find too much aggression, and Johnny actually gets one dash stun down, and Final K would love to chase that one down, but doesn't have the damage to go for that execute.
Pagon half HP, Rotwin in danger, still has Scarab's Blessing, will use it to get back to life, but now he's surrounded by 3, and it's Pagon who puts the first one on the board for the Jade Dragons, and they can finally answer back to the aggression that Hex Mambo's been showing.
I'll be shredding, don't you worry about it. Rotwin might be getting caught out again, though, because a lot of damage coming, and PBM's got the option.
Yeah, wall, well, a bit of an awkward wall there by PBM, just some damage more than anything. Axos off the mark, but the slow is good, and Rotwin will go down. It's PBM who picks up the second kill, and now the Jade Dragons have at least answered back to some of that gold that came from the Pyromancer.
Specifically, the Jade Dragons are pulling this objective, and unless E-Chrome gets there in time, which it doesn't look like, actually might have a chance to go for the steal, but the burst is too good for the Jade Dragons, and they will be able to pull that gold lead back in their favor.
Not going to be much there. A little bit of damage on the tier 1 tower is all that's to be had. Trebuchet is pushing up the right side, and maybe that's why we see Hex Mambo get aggressive over on the left. Ooh. Wall by PBM dropped down. Formed up, I should say, and that'll be a retreat for the Jade Dragon. And Rotwin, who was able to get at least an early lead over PBM, level 8 versus level 6. Now it's PBM who's been able to flip the script on their 13 to 12. But Hex Mambo grabbed themselves a Pyromancer. That's their second one now of the game.
The Jade Dragons have the Oracle Vision, so Pagon and Panda Cat can pass this one back and forth. But guess what? When you start one objective, another one opens up, and Hex Mambo are going to pull the FG.
And Jade Dragons will know this instantly. Panda Cat has left the Fury. They get the Oni Fury.
But that's
we
it.
see them on the way through, but Fire Giant stopped immediately because the other three members of the Dragons have now shown up. So the Jade Dragons, they kind of put a little bit of fear into Hex Mambo by walking up, and they get an Oni Fury and possibly even a tier 1 tower to boot. A nice little swing for the Jade Dragons to get themselves right back in this game. Not that they were ever out of the game. Again, barely over 1,000 gold for any part of the lead. But now this is one of the first times where Jade Dragons have actually claimed the lead for themselves.
Zeros' bead should be coming up in about 10 seconds, and that could be the go button for Mambo to finally try and get aggressive.
Down to Rotwin. A lot of damage towards Deathwalker. But again, he'll be able to heal a lot of that up thanks to that first ability, that Mail of Renewal, giving him some extra HP 5 as well. EBM goes in, gets the dash away from Echrome, finds the wall right away, and nowhere for Echrome to go. Can he get to the sky in time? There's a shell to hold him out, and he's able to get past the wall finally, but execute from FineOK will find their target. Echrome dashed into the wall to get away from Scream, and now Pagon is under fire by Deathwalker. Aegis is there, a stun by Panda Cat will save the life of the mid laner, and Echrome just trying to deal with FineOK. The Jade Dragons have found their one.
Panda Cat jumps in, hits a beautiful stun onto Zeros, gets the beads down, and now the chase will ensue. I don't think Baba Yaga is going to be sitting much longer, and Baba Yaga will go down. It's up to the Jade Dragons to pull this Fire Giant. Johnny's wrapping around, but it's burning fast.
Johnny and Echrome both here, half HP, ultimate down for Echrome, ult down for Johnny. Deathwalker zooms his way into perspective, and Panda Cat is forced to jump out, but FineOK and Scream can deal with Echrome. Stun is good, one more hit should do it, but Johnny finds PBM in the back, and it takes a little longer to kill Echrome. Look at the HP bars on everybody but Pagon at this point. They are under half or even worse than that. Pagon wants that kill, but he cannot get far enough to find it, and Deathwalker has to escape.
Yeah, Hex Mambo have been able to stop the Fire Giant pull, but I gotta tell you, someone needs to deal with A, FineOK, and B, Panda Cat. So much damage coming out from both of them. If you look at the damage charts, it certainly looks more like FineOK, but those axes, and we saw how much Hail of Arrows was able to do. So Panda Cat is definitely a force to be reckoned with. Pagon's a little bit up here, but Deathwalker doesn't have access to Dazzling Offensive just yet.
No backup around me at the time. Johnny by himself has the bubble. We'll be fine for now. Wall does catch Rotwin. Then gets the Phantom Shell. Ultimate out of Zeros and Deathwalker in the backline, who finds two with the ultimate. And Pagon has been blown up. Johnny finds the kill there, and PBM even on low HP has got to retreat because Echrome is here firing away auto after auto. But the hail of arrows in from Panda Cat are chunking through these carries.
Now they have the chance to pop the sustain here. The Jade Dragons are around. They don't want to give this Fire Giant up. And actually, Panda Cat is looking to fight. Hex Mambo, after getting the pick onto Pagon, are just going to back up, try and sustain, and then maybe go for the potential repull. With Deathwalker's build, should be able to tank this Fire Giant up, no problem. It's really just the damage output of the Jade Dragons that's the problem. We see that they're not ready to go for this one just yet, trying to bait in the members of the Dragons.
Panda Cat just trying to avoid any damage that Zeros throws out. Seeing Echrome sitting fairly healthy. They'll start the Fire Giant up for Hex Mambo. But there are 4 members of the Dragons here. Pagon's still down for 5 seconds. But Phantom Shell is gone for Rotwin. Meditation is gone. And PBM has found his first target in Deathwalker, who's lost a lot of HP just from the carries alone. FineOK gets pulled back in, force the beads, and dash away. Panda Cat will jump over the wall, and the Dragons will back away. Meditation is up for Pagon. He can resustain his team if they need it, and they might just so because Fire Giant is back on the menu for Hex Mambo. Can PBM, can Panda Cat, can Pagon, somebody get in there to stop it? No, they will not. Hex Mambo find PBM, they find the Fire Giant, and Pagon might just be on the menu next as Johnny and Deathwalker chase him down.
Yeah, the Aegis gets popped, but Pagon is definitely gone from this world. Now it's time for Hex Mambo to group up and push down this right side. They have all the avenues in the world to at least push that gold lead in their favor. It looks like FineOK is going to try and steal away some farm. Scream is trying to confirm some buffs as well, but right when Hex Mambo sniffed that out, that right side Phoenix might be looked at. This could have just been some towers and backup, but no one is going to be around in time to go for this Phoenix. It's just Panda Cat. Scream has made it back. FineOK channeling the back now, and they have to decide, are we going to break this 5v3? I think they're feeling confident.
Deathwalker walks in, full HP on the Ama. There is a Trebuchet, but that's not going to do anything At least not for now. Phantom Shell pops. Execute used by Final K. He gets grabbed and then immediately released by Rotwin. Hex Mambo do not have the minions to fight into this Phoenix, so for now, they'll have to take their prize of the towers and back themselves away. Still 3 left on the map. So plenty for Hex Mambo to grab with this Fire Giant. They've still got it for another 3 minutes.
Will the Jade Dragons be able to grab Primal Fury before the rest of the Dragon, or before the Hex the Mambo get here? Looks like yes. So the Jade Dragons will put a little bit of extra gold in their pockets while we're seeing the upgrades. Compassion Build, Executioner, Spirit Robe, even Brawler's Beatstick. A lot of power spikes on the side of Mambo, and there's a lot of tier 2 towers still to be grabbed. The gold is looking a little bit in their favor. By the end of this siege, if they play it right, should be looking a lot in their favor. 4-0 on Johnny, has been able to consistently get to the back line. 1-0 on Deathwalker, who's forcing these relics, forcing these leaps away, which opens up the opportunities for Johnny. And I gotta highlight the Odysseus bow procs from Echrome have been tearing up the backline of the Jade Dragon. Johnny pushing up mid by themselves, and Deathwalker is sort of playing zone duty in between these towers. Actually, might be looking for a little bit extra as he comes from the back, but just gonna get the last one in mid.
Minute and a half left on Fire Giant. Hex Mambo will group up as 5 to the left side of the map. And Hex Mambo have put themselves in a great position to start out this set right. It was a win against the Solar Scarabs that put them in position to be in week number 2. And they are getting this much closer to putting themselves to day 2 of week number 2. If they can find a win in game 1 against the Jade Dragons, would be a perfect start to the set for the underdogs of the entire event. But the Jade Dragons haven't given up just yet. They still got 4 there. Deathwalker walks in, eats some poke. Some meditation is available and an ult from Zeros. Zeros will go up and fire a few fire bolts at the frontliners. It's not going to do a lot to Final K. PBM finds a wall. Zeros down to a quarter HP, and Scream to the backline. Will find the pick. Rotwin tries to grab one in, but that was the end of his own demise as he heals himself back up, only to be brought down by the jungler.
Yeah, Scream grabs 2, and now a chase will go on. I don't think the Jade Dragons can find anything else off that one. Just stepped a little bit too far up and really didn't blow too much damage off either. It looks like Deathwalker and Echrome waiting to see if PBM would walk around the corner. And actually, if they don't, might be going for that Phoenix. I was going to say, this would be a risky play. They would be able to grab it, but what do you get in return? It looks like the Jade Dragons are pushing up mid to go for that tier 2 tower. You're sitting with that Zeros and Rotwin for 25 seconds, 2 massive members of the team fight. That first tier 2, the first tier 2 in mid is going down. Will the Jade Dragons just back up and go for Pyromancer? It looks like that will be the call. I didn't think a Phoenix Siege this early on into a Fire Giant squad would have been the call, but since Fire Giant buff ran out, it's time for the Jade Dragons to grab this Pyro, get some extra vision around this objective, and start thinking about EFG. The base wasn't broken. That's a strong defense there from the Dragons. The Jade Dragons. Final K wants to go back, but has teleport, so that won't be too big of an issue. Only if Hex Mambo make a pull will that teleport really have to be channeled. And actually, Final K teleports in, and here comes PBM.
It's to the back line. PBM gets an ult, but it's immediately shelled away. Deathwalker's ult is now down.
Oh.
His beads are still up, but he'll use them just in case. Into the back line goes the Piercing Moonlight from Scream. Doesn't find a kill, but gets plucked in by Rotwin instead. It's Echrome isolated from the rest of his team and taken down by Panda Cat. Final K, though, will fall down to Zeros and Johnny, who have been left alone into the Dragons' backline.
And it looks like Panda Cat wants to leap in as Polar Bear Mike is able to lock down Rotwin, but Deathwalker teleport back into this fight and has some new legs. The Jade Dragons don't have the sustain to stick around on this one. Panda Cat looking a little bit worse for wear, and Deathwalker actually kind of on the chase here, trying to make sure that the Jade Dragons aren't able to channel their backs too quickly.
It's actually not going to be the cooldown reset med from Pagon. Feels that he needs a bit of extra CC, so Cloak of the Avatar picked up
Knocking
to
up
give
the,
him that
the
knockback.
shield, yeah.
Try and keep everything away. But the Fire Giant's been pulled again. Half HP on the objective. Hex Mambo mid laner will dive away, but Deathwalker is caught in the middle of all of them. And Panda Cat will pick up the first kill of the fight. Jade Dragons can reset towards the Fire Giant if need be, because they are down a frontliner for Mambo.
Yeah, Pagon and PBM use the ultimates, whereas Hex Mambo have all 4 available, trying to fend off the advance of the Jade Dragons. They don't care too much about that objective. They want to look for a fight. They don't want to go for a 50-50 situation when they have no eyes on Johnny. Jade Dragons will go back. Final K is going to tank this one up, and PBM sitting on standby with the blink ready, and he's going in.
Does find 3 in the Tremors. Johnny lost his bubble, and Zeros has lost most of his health. The dive in, the revive is good, but he gets dropped right back next to Rodwin, which is not where you want to be right now. The home will not save you from Panda Cat and the Jade Dragons. 37 minutes in, the Jade Dragons reset once again with now 2 down on Hex Mambo. But the HP bars of some of the frontliners not looking as good.
Yeah, Deathwalker spawns in 5 seconds and does have the teleport to try and chase down if need be. Echrome can always ult for vision and chase down as well, so the Jade Dragons will have to reset one more time. Final K is teleported back in. PBM is going to have to book it on foot. Once again, we're going to see Final K pull this objective and see where the Hex Mambo are going to try to form some form of a defense. You got 30 seconds of that 0, so the Jade Dragons biding their time, going to grab Pyromancer first, but they want this enhanced Fire Giant. 38 minutes into the game, they want this objective.
No shell on Rotwin. Ult up for Mike. If Rotwin steps too far forward, or anybody from Hex Mambo, could be an easy wall for PBM. Panda Cat jumped over. Will now walk back to Fire Giant. Instead, PBM used it to block so his team can grab the Fire Giant. Stun onto Echrome. This is close. And Hex Mambo seal it away with one shot from Echrome. And the rest of the team, Hex Mambo, have snagged the enhanced Fire Giant, and now they can back up and reset themselves.
Echrome walks in, pre-beats, and just goes for the AoE auto attack.
We got a little bit of time before that siege happens. A replay for Echrome, as he was zoned away for a little while. Then you get to see PBM, he'll walk over, drop the wall down, and then just intelligent play, as you say, recognizing, oh hey, we can just break that. Gets eaten by the first stun, pops it, and just casually walks in, throws out his 2, and steals it away. And now it's Hex Mambo pushing up the left Phoenix once more.
Yeah, and it looks like they have learned from their mistakes. You got Johnny and Deathwalker in the mid lane doing the 3-2 split. Scream is going to play mediator, go between both of these sides, waiting for someone to step up. Phantom Shell's available, and Rotwin should be able to tank this one up just fine. Already, that left side bird's getting a little bit weak, but Hex Mambo, they're a little nervous. They're up against the Jade Dragons, and they're in a winning situation.
This is no easy feat for any team to take down Jade Dragons. They have been on a hot streak ever since Scream joined this squad. Can Hex Mambo, the SCC representative, be the first team to find a win on the Jade Dragons in 3 now weeks of play? Starting in second week of Masters, it started all back in week 8 of the SPL's regular season. Hex Mambo are one good team fight away from breaking that record.
Yeah, Deathwalker realizes, hey, I can just solo this Phoenix because it's enhanced Fire Giant. Tries to take Final K all the way over to the right side of the map. Definitely a smart call. Now you're in a 3-1-1 situation. You got to win your 1v1s. Who's winning between Johnny and Scream? Probably should be that Nemesis with enhanced Fire Giant. Rotwin gets walled in, and Zero's in some trouble.
Echrome almost gone. The revive is good, and that saves the relics for Echrome, making sure he can hold on to him for the next fight. But that fight's not going to be much longer, Trelly. It's 1 minute 15 seconds, less than that, for the Fire Giant power play. And Hex Mambo have gotten half the HP of a Phoenix, a quarter of another one. Now it's time for the regrouping by Hex Mambo. Aegis down by Echrome off a missed shot by Panda Cat.
There it is.
But there's the first bird finally taken as 2 of Hex Mambo grouped to the right.
Yeah, now it's time for the Jade Dragons to get aggressive on this left side of the map, or they could be in some trouble. Once again, Echrome tanking it up. The Phoenix doesn't go down, and actually 1 HP Scream should be able to finish that kill.
Scream gets it. Rotwin on his last legs, doesn't have the revive for himself. Pagon takes him down, but 2 more. The same 2 who took out the right bird have taken away the middle one. It lives barely.
Left bird might
Minion
go
wave
down.
Pushing into the left Phoenix now. It'll be a close battle, but
No,
it
it's
seems that
gone.
the Phoenix will not win this time around. Jade Dragons, 3 Phoenixes down, but it's a 3v5 for another 50 seconds.
And now look at Hex Mambo. They're not going to defend their base. It's Final K versus 3. He's got 3 Fire Minion waves that are Shumi to be coming down. And it looks like Hex Mambo are trying to go for the end call here. If they don't end here, Jade Dragons can win.
The ultimate base race, the Dragons don't want to take that one on uneven ground, so they'll send 2 members back to help out Final K, while the other 2 are pushing up the Phoenix. Hex Mambo was so close to taking down the Dragons. They were so close to holding this one out, but Panda Cat and Scream
Final
with
K
Final K
TP'd.
in tow have to go through, but now it's Johnny on the defense here in a 3v1 of his own. Deathwalker has finally made his way back in, but the Jade Dragons, they hold out. Sure, they lose their Phoenixes. Sure, they lose the fight. They're not going to get the
Body
fight
blocks!
back. There's no way. A respawn
He's
by
dead!
Echrome. It still lives. Can the minions do it? No, they cannot. Hex
Echrome
Mambo
flies
hold
in.
out.
And now Echrome's chasing down the 1v1 versus Pagon. Pagon has to stay alive here. And it looks like Echrome will lose that trade. Pagon puts him in the dirt. It's Pagon and oh my goodness, PBM and Pagon up against the world. I was going to say, is PBM going for the back door now? It's only one Phoenix. The benefit of Hex Mambo now. They've got 3 Phoenixes down. They have to worry about 1 wave of fire minions. But they also have to worry about any wards. When is Final Case Teleport going to be up? Are you going to go for the end call right here? 3v2. It looks like that's what they want.
3v2. Fire minion waves. Hex Mambo nearly lost the game. Can they turn it back around once again in the ultimate base race between teams? Rotwin and Deathwalker on the Titan. PBM cannot hold Johnny back. Pagon finds the ult onto Johnny. The Titan, quarter HP. Pagon and PBM
Huge!
don't have the damage just yet, but Johnny is down. That's the primary damage dealer. Do
Fire
Deathwalker
minions.
and Rotwin have enough to take it out? With the
They
help
do.
of the minions, Hex Mambo have ended the Jade Dragons winning streak and take game number 1 of the set.
Are you kidding me? How many base races did we just witness? Deathwalker with the AoE. Give us those cams. I'm about to pass out. My head is dizzy. But Hex Mambo have done the impossible. They have taken on, that's only game 1, by the way.
Don't remind me.
Just taking a loss off of Jade Dragon.